Hello everyone and happy Friday. It is time for Maker Notes and my name is Kyle and I'm excited because I get to talk about Skacel. We revised the logo for Skacel for a product I'm going to talk about a little later in Maker Notes today. But first I want to talk about the featured yarn and the thing that's on sale, the yarn, and some other stuff. So let's jump into it so you'll get to see what the snake's all about. So first we'll talk about Kinky yarn. So Kinky yarn is a yarn, we have 3 different weights of it, but today we are focused just on the sock weight yarn because today it's about socks, why not? But also sock weight yarn. And Kinky yarn is an undyed, so it's 100% natural, it's 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon. And this is a cake, you can see, it's a cake, it's a knitted cake that is 439 yards. It is a 100-gram cake. It is a very tightly knit tube. So if I take this off of here, which I'll do, you can see it's a tube and it comes unwound. If I take this apart, you'll see that this little tube here, as I pull on here, it undoes itself. So it's a very, very small little knitted tube. It's 12 or 15 stitches. I don't remember. We can count them. But it is a knitted tube of this very wonderful yarn. Like I said, 75-25 superwash and nylon. So what do you do with it? Well, you dye the yarn if you want to. So it's really wonderful because it creates really fun, unexpected results as a result of the pre-knit condition, the way that it's prepared, I guess, preparation of the yarn. So it's a very flat disc, like I said. You could begin by like soaking the yarn into the water with a mordant or whatever, and then add dye to it. You can use Sharpies on it to dye the yarn. You could try dyeing it with red wine or Easter egg dye tablets. We've done a lot of stuff with it. Ice dyeing, you could freeze it and sprinkle some dye on it, let the thing melt and see what happens. And then once all of the dye is rinsed out and you cake it up, you can get all kinds of results. So in no particular order, these are ones that we've dyed. This is from the Dye Lab. So this is called Tequila Sunrise. This is Kinky sock after it's been dyed, but so is this. Look how cool that is. Really beautiful. And then this is also Kinky sock after it's been dyed. It just can be lots of different things. And this one is a very subtle one. So depending on what you do, you can get all kinds of different results from it. And it's a bit unpredictable, like I said, because of the knitted tube that it begins in, right? And because it's knitted, those little bits inside it, the knit stitches where they're holding onto each other, they will take the dye a little bit differently because they sort of are connected to each other. So it resists accepting dye, so it varies the way the color looks. So it's very, very cool. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. And we are putting the yarn itself, the undyed yarn, this stuff here, on sale. It is 20% off through the weekend. So if you'd like to give this a try, you really can't mess it up. Well, you could, I guess you really could, but most likely you're gonna get something that's really interesting. It's a very fun, unexpected way to give dyeing yarn a try. So we created this, what we call put up, this preparation for dyeing and being successful. There's all kinds of tutorials on our website and they're linked in the newsletter as well to give you ideas of what you can do and some things that we did. And so you can try that, have fun. It's a great outdoor activity for kids as well. So 20% off now through Sunday on the undyed Kinky yarn. Now, the other ones I showed you, the ones that we've dyed, if you'd just like to get those, you can grab them. They're not on sale, but they are really fun and already done, so you know kind of what color you're gonna get if you get any of those. So you can check out those. We also have a free pattern on the in the newsletter that's featured. It's called the Pixie Socks. Those are done by our friend Kim. Hi, Kim. They are done in a yarn that we dyed called Spring Stripes. This is also the Kinky yarn sock, but it was dyed using some calculations to figure out, based on the gauge and the pattern, how long of a stripe we needed to paint, hand paint, to create stripes that were somewhat predictable. And it worked. It's pretty cool. Here's a picture of the socks. You can see it's really, really fun. For this yarn itself, you also, not on sale, but a good deal, $29 if you'd like it. It's a hand-dyed, wonderful 100 grams of yarn. Again, 75 superwash, 25 nylon, so very fun. You can knit directly from this coil. So you'll get to the end where you find that end of the yarn, you just pull on this and you can go ahead and knit from there. Knit with the kinks right in. And then once you wash and block it or steam it or whatever, those kinks relax and it's pretty awesome. So that is the yarn. We have that, like I said, in the, well, did I say? The color I'm showing you, this is the color that Kim used for the actual pattern. So if you'd like to make that, we do have a few of these. And this is called Spring Stripes. So you'll see the link to that in the newsletter as well. Other stuff, we have Jacquard acid dyes. So if you'd like to give that a try, one of those little half-ounce bottles dyes about like 2 pounds of protein fiber. It's a lot of dye in a tiny little powerful jar. So you can check that out if you like. We can show you those in our newsletter as well by clicking on the link. And then the thing that I want to talk about, the thing that's exciting, the little S, the snakes. So the thing that is exciting are these. This is really exciting. You might have seen it in the picture that at the very beginning of the video, but this is called the Crazy Snake. They are by Crazy Sylvie. They're created by Skacel by Addie. And what's really cool, of course, a double point needle. It's anodized aluminum, but you see that curve that's in it? That makes it so that as you are knitting using double points, these needles don't fall out of the work. It's really cool. So I have a little piece here of knitting, and it's in a little jar, but boop, boop, boop. You can get frustrated with your knitting and throw it across the room and the double points don't fall out, which is really fun. They also double, or can double as a cable needle because it's got that little bend in there. You'll get 5 of these in one of the packages. And showing you the packages, this is what they look like. They come in a number of different sizes from a size 0 to a 4. So a 2 millimeter, 2.5, 3, 3.25, and 3.5 millimeter. There are these paper packaging. This is what Addie is transitioning to. So as they create new products and additional products of the existing things they've been making, they are moving towards recyclable packaging, which is really wonderful. But the Crazy Snakes, they are here. So many people have been asking about them. We have them, they're on our website. You can add them to your cart and check out and get them right away. So I think they're really fun. I love the idea of them, and it was fun to create the logo and a t-shirt. So I have a little Crazy Snake logo on my shirt. And I also have, can you see the needles on the back? I just think it's really fun. Anyway, enough about the t-shirt, Kyle. What else can you tell us about what's in the newsletter today? Well, one more thing, I guess, for the local folks, if you would like to join me for some hand dyeing fun, a hand dyed workshop, we're going to do some hand painting of yarn and a hand painted yarn workshop on Saturday, not this weekend, but next weekend on the 23rd of August. It is 2 different sessions. There's a 9 a.m. session and one that starts at noon. You get to choose 2 different undyed yarns. We have a whole lot of different ones with different yardages and fiber content and all of that. So you'll choose 2 different hanks or cakes or whatever of yarn, and we will go through the process of how to go about hand dyeing the yarn, hand painting the yarn specifically to create some patterned effects of desired results, right? We're gonna go through all of that. We'll talk about a little bit about safety and all of that, the equipment that you might need, and at the very end, you will leave with most likely wet and probably warm 2 finished hanks of yarn that are dyed by your hands, and you'll be ready to take those home, finish them up by just rinsing them and letting them dry, and then you'll be able to knit or crochet or weave using your very own hand-dyed, hand-painted yarn. So that is very exciting. That is a week from this Saturday. So we are counting down to the moments. If you'd like to join us, make sure you do that. So I think that is it for me. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Make sure you do something good for you this weekend. Go out and treat yourself to a little ice cream or some kind of a nice walk by the beach. Whatever might lift your spirits and make you happy. Do something good for you. I will see you again in just a few days on Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Bye.